Greetings, comrades. I am Admiral Andre. Welcome back to the 8th episode of Kerbal Space Program. Right, so here we are, comrades. Today I'm doing stuff a bit differently here on my side. I usually put my microphone on my desk just because it's much easier, and I didn't really have any other way to attach it to anything. But today I thought, okay, that's enough, because I usually have to sit forward when I'm playing just so I'm not too far away from the microphone, because I don't have a fancy microphone. This is a Samsung Go microphone. But anyway, I do have a pop filter, so I thought today, let's do something. It's kind of like the Kerbal way. I took a plastic clothes hanger and I cut it into pieces. And then the microphone, if you know what a Samsung Go looks like, it does have a clip to it. And so, but my normal pop filter can't attach it and cover the microphone with a pop filter at the same time. So now I have this clothes hanger, a piece of it, attached with wires to the pop filter, and the microphone is clipping onto that. So it's a really almost a Kerbal way of doing things. But anyway, it's just a bit better for my back this way. I have to be really careful of things like that. And also I think it will be a bit easier when we stream again, because I bought myself a new webcam today. And I was very lucky I got it on a discount, because the package was damaged in the shop. So they gave me about a third of the price off. And it works perfectly. It's not, the fanciest thing again, but it will certainly be helpful for when we stream again. I also bought a cable that actually allows me now to attach my second monitor to my graphics card, because it uses a display port and I only had an HDMI, so I had to get a converter or adapter anyway, and now that works as well, so things will be much better. Yes, so that's just a little side note there. Another side note, did any one of you see Matt Lowndes' stream last night? I thought that was very interesting to see how he does things. I don't know if it was his first stream, but it certainly was like a test, as he said. And I was just flabbergasted at the end when he said the prices of some of the things that he bought, like the lights that he used. It was £200 each, and he had two of them. And his camera, he bought a fancy camera to take the picture, not just a webcam, and that was £700. That's insane. That's crazy. If you put that into my currency, that's more than the salary I received when I was working at my previous job per month, and that's with a master's degree. So anyway, I don't have money like that. I'm in Africa, so I have to make solutions where I can. But anyway, I just thought that was so interesting. Now, let's get back to the game, comrades. Enough yapping. So, let's just see if there's anything in terms of contracts. There's something possibly. That's our first satellite contract. Build a new unmanned probe, of course, usual thing, designated equatorial, and that's it. It doesn't have to have anything on it. I'll definitely take this. This is a good money maker. Oh, we've got the full set of contracts already. Let's just see. Orbit the moon. Is there anything we can take care of today? Orbit, we'll leave this for a while. Temperature, of course. I think this one. I'll have to do this one. Alright. So we have to take pressure readings in flight above a minimum of 17.1 kilometers. So, okay, human's curiosity. I want to see where this is. We'll have to use our rocket plane or an adaptation of it. So it's all here. It's too far away to do it in one go, I think. Yes, this is all it. Now, let's see. I'll have to devise a plan. So this is now not going to be one of our master plan missions. We'll not be doing that every single time. So it's also a bit of variety. Let me just have some coffee, comrades. What else? It's a good thing. I usually like Jacob's Kroning or Dover Egberts. It's instant coffees, but anyway. Right, spaceplane hangar. And I think, let's just have a look at the previous plane, the Sparrow. This was the science plane. Now we don't need this whole science plane again. Actually, if I just load the VAB vehicles and take the last Griffin that we had. Now, you see, this can easily do one of them, maybe two of them if it's in a straight line, but it's not really designed for high atmospheric flight horizontally. Vertically, yes. Anyway, we can easily put a barometer on this thing. Now I also have to be careful because my mouse is going off the screen there because of my second screen now. So that's something I'll have to get used to. Another comrade said, why didn't I just use 2 parachutes on this thing? That is a good point, comrade. I think that is quite obvious. I should have done that. Now, this one is going to intersect again with the tail, but this will help. Hopefully we won't lose any parts there. And that should do. Now I just want to make sure all the staging is right. This will not be a tourist contract, so we can bring our own flag back. And now see, my mouse is gone again. I think I'm just gonna have to remove the second screen when I do normal recordings, otherwise it's going to keep disappearing off the edge there. Then it doesn't matter where we attach this really. I think I'll just put it on the top here. 2, because I don't think we'll manage all 3 of them in one go, so I'll just put 2 of them on. And now, well, I'll have to launch it from the VAB, so I can use the action groups as well. So we have this booster, then we have that to recover the booster, separate, use the engine, and then the 2 parachutes. Right, so back to the VAB. And now, of course, I can use action group, so I should be able to. That's strange, where's my action groups? Am I blind? Build, crew, and switch editor. Maybe it's because I'm switching editor. Maybe it doesn't like that. Let's leave it. Come back in. Now it's there, you see? Okay, now I learned something new. You're never too old to learn something new. If you switch between them and the one doesn't have that, then you don't get it on the other one. So anyway, we'll do this on separate keys. So custom 1, log the data, custom 2, log the other data, and then we'll just grab whoever's available on the roster. Jeb wants to do it, so he is going to do it. You know, I'm almost tempted to take the tourists as well. Don't they want to go on a suborbital adventure as well as orbital? Now we do have 3 of them, but if we do 2 missions we might finish this. Suborbit, suborbit, suborbit. Now I know, of course, if we take them to orbit it's going to complete the suborbit anyway, but since we have the room on this thing, why not use it? So Alri and Enberry, you are going. We'll do an experiment. Right, Griffin 4. Save this thing and well, I think this will be our first launch from the actual launch pad, because we have no real choice here. No, like that, just make it easier. And okay, we'll use the launch pad for the first time, comrades. This will be our inaugural flight from there. And of course, more coffee. Good. And I forgot totally to do our naming. Good grief. Something I'll have to get used to. Just revert. See, in this case, reverting is definitely useful. No, 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 no. Revert flight to the vehicle assembly, please. Right, Comrade Ethan Frost. This is your mission. And save it and launch again. Right, we have to do that. That's the thing. I like doing this, so I must not forget to add the names. Okay, now let's just make sure we know where we're going. This is actually quite far. I think we'll do one target for each of the missions, so this will be 3 flights probably. Activate navigation, that seems to be the closest one. Now this is quite to the southwest, so I just have to get my bearings, so towards 225. Well, we'll see anyway. Let's try. Good luck, comrades. There we go. Now I have to just make sure we point the right way. Good grief. I think we might have to redesign it, but anyway, we'll try. So, as long as it's above 17.1-ish, then it will be fine. Even if it's in space, it's still counting as above. Our comrades are indifferent to the mission. They don't really care. It's too funny. For some reason, it's so hilarious. They're just indifferent. Well, we're just going to space. It's become, you know, they become used to this now. Right, our second stage is activated, and luckily the booster won't kill anyone because it does have a parachute. Okay, we're a little off our target, but still difficult to maneuver. Just want to get my telemetry data. Right, I think that will do. Now we just have to make sure we reach space and fly over this thing. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not sure. Well, even if it doesn't, we'll still complete a contract, and that's what I call a successful mission. And I'm sure we're also reusing, you know, hypothetically reusing the engine and the cockpit and the crew cabin. Okay, 39. I think, you see, we are going that way, but the orbit isn't quite... Yes, it's that's the reason why we're not quite there. So we have 2 variables to keep track of. Altitude and heading. Okay, we're still on the course. Okay, that should do. Right there, right there. Question, are we going to make it to space today? No. Yes, maybe. Went a little too shallow there. I think we're not going to make it to space. But then we'll finish the contract, or the pressure reading, you know, either or. Then our 2 comrades here will get a free trip, so that's at least something. And now, of course, I just have to keep an eye on this. We'll pass over here quite quickly, I think. Somewhere in the ocean we will make our splashdown. Right, just get ready. When it says that, I'm going to press the number 1 key. And we'll keep it. It doesn't have any value, of course, to us, but to the people giving the contract, it certainly does have value. So the stage was destroyed. This was the Prodigy 2 debris. Why are we still getting Prodigy 2 messages? Odd. Anyway. Excalibur 1, this was the booster, the other stage, and the flyby of the sun. Now that was an unintentional flyby. I think this was a piece of debris. We'll have to check. Oh well, it was now not as ceremonious as I would have liked, but it seems we did fly by the sun. The recent accomplishments of our space program attracted contributions. So this is again World FIS, aka government. Stage recovered, that is Ethan Frost debris, that is the solid booster that we just used, so we received a nice benefit from that. And we did get the survey data, so that pays maybe for this mission, hopefully. Right, let's speed up. Our comrades are now happy. And we're losing communication. Uh-oh. Yes, if you time warp too fast, your aerodynamics can be a little wonky. Right, no one's gonna pass out. And speed up again. Now it doesn't really matter, we're okay. Right, start slowing down again. Right, luckily not too much. As long as it's under the red. If you go into the red for a few seconds, then the chances are strong that someone will pass out. And speed up. Also, something interesting last night in Matt Lown's stream, he said he doesn't think the career mode is good for the kind of normal YouTube recordings. It's better for live streams, but there I have to disagree with him, because exactly that's what I'm doing here. So anyway, suppose it's, I don't know, it's a different style. Of course, everyone has a different style. Mine is much more relaxed and not focused on necessarily making huge achievements in every episode. Right, separate, and now hopefully we won't lose anything. Now we can speed up, and yes, we'll still belly flop, that's alright. Now at least the speed should be much slower, and it's coffee time right now. And are you gonna drop me out? Yes. Oh, well, I think it's better to go back to the original, to have the parachute on the back and just splash down nose first. Oh well. Right, we'll recover. And then I just need to get our engine back, which didn't sync for some reason, but that's not a complaint. Our tourists actually have some experience now. Anyway, that's good. So we see something here. Jebediah, splashdown, first landing on Kerbal. Now, of course, we know this is not really a first, but still that's good. He's withstood 5 Gs for 3 seconds or longer. Horizontally Mach 2 below 30,000 meters. Passenger transport. And 10% of the ship's mass at least was a solid booster. You see, it's interesting. I think at the end, of course, now we missed the first few missions, but at the end of our campaign, we can look back and see all the different interesting things that the Kerbals achieved. So that's the final frontier mod. I just need to get back our stage. Right. Now I think that was its own mission, so I think we're just gonna have to go down the list to the next name now. But before we even think about that, this didn't quite work for the purpose that I had intended, so maybe we will not take tourists along this time, but we can still finish the missions. So maybe it's a good idea to take them out, otherwise we just end up with experienced tourists, which is not bad necessarily, but it's of no benefit to us. So I'm going to take Jamie. He's never been anywhere, so he can also go along. And also I need to change their uniforms. I rarely do this, I have to be honest, but I need to focus more on that. Now I want to still use these older style suits for them. I think that's quite appropriate for especially spacewalks and things like that. It's the very early kind of suits. Then of course you get the really fancy ones Which one is that now? Anyway, I want this one. So Jeb will again be the pilot and Jamie will be the passenger. So yes, I think we can just put one of these parameters on. We're not going to need both. I'll take this parachute off so we have it where it was originally. And now we go down the list because this is now Griffin 5. Next mission, it's a separate mission on its own. And this one, comrades, will be Svetlana Belova. Now, forgive me because I had to use Google to translate this from Cyrillic alphabet. So if it's not quite correct, I beg your forgiveness, but Google was the culprit there. But anyway, Svetlana Belova, this is your mission. So now we'll keep everything the same. I think it works fine and we get most of it back anyway. So we are now just going to go back to the launch pad and target the next site. And I could again have taken the monopropellant out. I'll never remember that. Anyway, it's not so important. Let's take the furthest one away. So now let me just get my bearings. So southwest, but not quite so much. Lock and fire. Good luck, comrades. Poor Jamie is not too convinced this is a good idea, but at least he has an emotion, not like the other two, the tourists. Well, I guess they were scared. They just didn't want to show it. And I don't blame them. Right, that'll do. Just there. And we just coast now till we get rid of this stage. Anything else? Oh yes, another thing. Comrades, somebody left a comment. I tried to find the comment again, but I don't know if I'm blind or if it was removed. I don't know. I'll have to look again. But anyway, I did see it, so it's fine. Somebody suggested that I use the snacks mod. I don't know who it was because, as I said, I don't know where that is now. Because it's kind of like, I had to look into this because I've never heard of that before. I just know the TAC Life support and the... what's the really fancy one? USI type life support mod, and of course colonization and all of that. But so I looked at this snacks mod. Now, of course, I remember what I said about not adding parts really. Now that only adds 3 parts and it's small containers with snacks. And it's really again for the role-playing kind of purposes, where we just basically make the Kerbals need snacks, which is a relevant thing because if you even look inside any of the capsules, it will have a compartment for snacks. So it's a very simple kind of life support thing, and if they don't get it, then it won't kill them necessarily. You'll just lose some prestige, or you can actually customize that. So I wanted to know, actually I want to leave this at the mercy of the court, as it were. So you can leave me feedback if you think we should do something like that. Just again, it can work. I would think there's no problem with that, and that shouldn't complicate things too much. And also knowing how I want to role-play things, it could work well, where, for example, we say certain capsules only can go certain durations in space, and then obviously we just limit the snacks based on that, so that could be interesting. Anyway, let me know what you think, comrades. Right, we just need to get over that one. It was a bit off track. Right, that should do. And we still have a few meters per second. And now, interestingly enough, we will reach space. Of course, when we don't have the tourists. This is how life works. But at least Jamie gets to go to space for the first time. So I'm very happy about that. And we'll save the last few drops of fuel. We'll burn it off when we're passing over our apoapse. Yes, we'll still be above 17. That's 17.1. Oh dear, we might miss this. Ish! Because of course the planet rotates. Maybe they'll be gracious and still give us the chance if it's a big enough area. Well, we'll find out together. Hey, they're happy. See, that's what I like. I have to say, my playstyle has never been where I like to kill the Kerbals. Never ever. I don't want to do that. I know it's a game, obviously, but it's kind of strange because it's the opposite of what was said recently in the media after the shootings in America, where video games are the cause of violence, etc., etc. We all know that nonsense, but that's exactly what I don't want to do now we don't get the chance. Well, at least this was a chance for Jamie to get some experience, and he's happy about it. So it depends how you play on. That's not even the real issue. The real issue is, of course, if you are a violent person or if you have pre-existing issues. Video games don't make people violent. But anyway, that's not going into politics, which I don't really want to do. But obviously I'm playing video games, so I'm going to stand up for them. But anyway, I don't want to kill Kerbals, so I'm not violent in that way. Or any really, but look at them. How can I kill them or hurt them in any way? It's my responsibility to bring them back safely. There. Look at that face. How could I hurt that face? He's so happy. Anyway. Right, now we just coast back down again. Whoops, you see, don't time warp at critical moments. Just don't do it. Now we're going nose first. As long as we burn off speed, it's fine. No heat warnings. Everything is going well. Loss of consciousness meter is rising, but that's alright. Now we can time warp. Past the speed of sound, so we're subsonic now. And we're losing speed nicely, as long as we're not pointing directly prograde. Right, we're below a kilometer, so pitch up until we stall. Doesn't have to be that way, of course, but that's good enough. Deploy the parachute and turn off the SAS. And now we splash nose first, and the nose can sustain the heat, so that's fine. Right, so this was not exactly successful, but at any rate it did at least give some experience to one of our crew. And there we go, everyone survives, the whole thing is in one piece. There's a bit of a slowdown in the game when you see all of that foam, but anyway, recover. Right, so recovery of a vessel, and we got 85% of the value back. And some XP for Jamie, who's so happy just to be in space. So Jeb gets the first Kerbal in space ribbon, which is actually accurate. He was the first. And then Jamie also gets that. We'll know why. Splashdown, landing, G-force, solid booster, and so forth. It's interesting that Jeb didn't get that solid booster and he was in the same craft. Oh, but he obviously got it before. Right, let's try again. Maybe we'll make some changes to the craft, but it's not really necessary. I just need to plot the course better. So I think we'll move on to Griffin 6. And a new name. I know it's not the most, how can we say, prestigious missions that we're doing necessarily, but it's not for racing ahead and achieving as much science as possible. It's for having a bit of fun and a nice relaxing time with my comrades. So that's what it's about. Anyway, next name. Right, comrades. This will be the craft for Ahmad Salah, and this is a name I recognize very well, so good luck, comrade. I think this will be a good mission. I hope so, but all missions have been good because we've never killed anyone. That's of course the measure of whether a mission is good or not. Right, back on the launch pad again with Jamie. Should we go back? Let's go back and get the tourists again. Maybe we can make what is the two birds with one stone? Yes, although again, killing two birds with one stone, I don't want to do that. Right, launch pad. Third launch from the main spaceport. And again, I didn't take out the monopropellant 30 kilograms, but oh well. Lock, and let's just make sure we know what we're doing. I think, yes, we'll go for the more difficult one again. The other one is pretty much just south. Good luck, comrades. And now, I think I'm not going to turn so aggressively because the planet will rotate and bring the target closer to us. So we'll let it work in our favor. And there we go, a lovely day on Kerbal. There's not a cloud in the sky. Of course there's not a cloud anywhere on the planet, but that's alright. That's also the kind of mods I don't want to do now, because those are the ones that really slow things down. All the graphics mods. Passing Mach 1. Get ready for stage set. 3, 2, 1. Ignite the next one. This craft has always performed very well. I like this. It doesn't flip over or go crazy, all sorts of things. Of course we have to pull the thing now. Good grief. So there's our target. Just have to pull the... Actually it's the other way. If I want to cancel out the rotation of the planet. Well, either of those targets will be fine. But let's try this one again. Not so concerned about reaching space, but it seems like we will. Okay, now we need to start getting some horizontal speed. $60. Give me my data. So hard to judge, you know. This has to move now into our path. Definitely gonna make orbit, so we'll make some space, not orbit. So at least we should make some money out of this. Okay, save the rest of the fuel. 81 meters per second. It's not gonna give us much, but they're again emotionless, but okay. Everyone reacts in their own way. There we go. Now we get some enthusiasm. Right, I think we're gonna get it this time. Now it's already moved past, so we need to now move towards the west. Actually right on the node there. Full speed. Okay, it should work. Back to prograde and just keep us right above that, and let's go. Let's see what we can do. Just drop out of time warp. We passed again, but this should be close enough. I think we'll get this one. Just gotta get ready with a key here. Log it. Okay, there we go. Got it. So the fact that you're in the Badlands tells you all you need to know. Okay, that's a bit inaccurate, but that's alright. Okay, so at least we got some more money, and of course we pleased the tourists who are now having the time of their lives. And then we just, again, not speed up 4 times, 3 will be enough. You see there how the craft behaves differently, especially from 2 times to 3 times time warp. Right, it's going to pull it down anyway, but if you go to 4 times, it kind of skips some of the time simulation, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter. Whoops, nobody must pass out. Whoops. Being a bit too aggressive on the stick there, Jeb. We could use this craft to fulfill some of those other contracts where people want to pass out. Oh dear. No, 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 no. Oh, crikey. Is this a time to revert? Yes. We have to. I'm not going to let them die here. No, sorry. Revert to launch. Well, comrades, I'll speed this part up just until we are back where we were again, so you don't have to sit through it twice. But that was just a dream, comrades, just like in a soap opera. Okay, comrades, here we are again. This is just one mission later, so it didn't take too long. Just on the way back, I think my problem was I waited too late to pull up, and so the G-forces were just going completely crazy there. You see, now we're bleeding off a lot of speed at a safe altitude, so I have to remember, pull up on the stick while you're coming down. No, don't wait for the end. So yes, there we are. This is still the same mission then. We'll pretend we didn't see anything, nothing happened, nobody says anything, nobody saw anything, etc, etc. Right, Embry and Alri have also achieved their goal of reaching space, suborbit at least, so we got some money from that. And let's just have a look. Stage recovered for the previous mission and for this one, and of course the tourists and the data. There we go. Now it's much safer, so now I can speed up again, and now it's fine. We don't pick up speed at this point, and pitch up not that much speed, so we don't get that much of a G-force, and fire the thing and stop the SAS, and there we go again. The ship crew has to come and pick us up. I always imagine that KSC has some kind of a fleet of ships, or at least can rent some ships to pick up the various pods from the oceans. So anyway, the rescue ship or the recovery ship is on its way. It'll pick us up again in a short while. Now I can just speed up and drink some more coffee. I feel I need it today. It's been a long day. There we go. Nice splashdown. It seems violent, but it's fine. Everyone is unharmed and we get all the parts back. Recover. So thank you for that, Comrade Ahmad Salah. We have our goal achieved, so now we just go on to the next one. Right, it's not going to be for the science really, it's for the tourists. No new ribbons, that's fine, and I like that it shows us that. Now we just go back again, and I just need to consult my list. Right, the next name on our list is Comrade Chow 1984. I like that, 1984. Right, it's not my birth year, but the 80s, well, I was born in the 80s, so I can appreciate that. Now this is number 7. Save that now. Take the other tourist, there's just the other one left. Lens on. And I guess we'll stay with Jeb. Let's launch again. Save and launch. So I saved too much. Anyway, it's better to save too much than too little. Just give me my launch pad information. Oh well, default launch is fine. That's where we're going anyway. More coffee. It sounds like I'm drinking a lot, but it's really not. I'm just taking a sip each time. Right. Now let's make sure we know where we're going. As with any mission, you begin with the end in mind. Human's curiosity. I like that. We're also going to have to name places. You know, we can do that, of course. I've never done it this way, but using the, what's it called, the curb net, and you can click on various points on the map and then give it a name. So I definitely want to do that. And there again, comrades, I will rely on your wisdom. So please do make suggestions for names and so on. But anyway, it will depend on what the area is. Like the parts of the desert, we know there's the salt flats and Pelican Point and Skeleton Coast and so on. But at the end of this career, which is definitely going to be a long one, but that's all the better, I want really ideally that we have lots of landmarks where everyone can say they have a stake in it and they in some way took part in the experience, just like with the names now of the craft. It's much better than just playing, and it's just a bit impersonal, but this works a bit better. I also thought now when we have to do the satellite missions, I want to name the satellites after KSP YouTubers, just because they form part of that kind of constellation. So obviously, well, I thought, oops, just go back. The obvious first choice would be Scott Manley. He is at the top of the pyramid, so to speak. But then I thought, you know, what kind of self-respecting KSP YouTuber is not going to put their own name first? So our first satellite is going to be called Admiral Andre, of course. Why not? Then it's going to be Scott Manley. Then it's going to be probably Matt Lown, and so on and so forth. So yes, but the craft and the various missions will be named after comrades. Yes, so I was looking today. You know, it's kind of interesting with the whole stream thing. I was looking at Streamlabs OBS. Previously I just used the normal OBS, but I think the Streamlabs one is probably a lot better. Again, I have no experience with that. I'm a total noob. But they have various themes for the stream, overlays and all sorts of things, and that does make it look a little more professional and so on. But it's so hard. I went through page after page after page after page of themes, and none of them really resonate with me. I don't know. I'll find one, or at least I'll put one together out of pieces of other themes. But yes, can't say exactly when I'll stream again, but it will happen. Next week also, this is just a side point, that next week, especially the second half of next week, I will probably have to miss a few days of recordings because it's going to get a little crazy. On the Friday the 23rd of August, I have to give a lecture, actually 2 lectures, so it's 2 hours of lecturing for a master's course, and it's the first time in my life that I have to give a lecture. I have spoken at conferences before, but I guess it's really similar to that. Of course, you just speak and then people can ask questions and so on. But yes, I'm going to be speaking about space. Actually, it's for a space course, so I'll be speaking on various aspects of space for 2 hours, and I'm totally terrified, but okay, you know, we have to face your fears to get better and to get anywhere. So anyway, wish me luck, comrades. Of course, that's more than a week away, which is good since I still have to prepare for it, but we won't speak about that publicly. Well, I know what I need to say. I mean, I wrote a book about it, but anyway, that's our other story. It's, you know, putting it all together, the slides, and how am I going to fill the hour and all of that, and then the second hour, but I'm not speaking alone in the second hour. Anyway, that is going to occupy some time for next week especially. Are we ready to log the pressure data? Not yet. I think this is quite a good approach. Yes, we'll definitely get it. Human's curiosity, and we fulfilled the contract there. Great stuff. And I'm going to F5 just so I don't have to do the whole thing over. I should do this more. Have to save. You know, things can go wrong and then I don't have to do everything over. It's a habit that I have to get into. So there's the first stage again. This adds up. It makes a big difference, all these little pieces that we're getting back. And suborbital spaceflight also for Linzon, so we can only focus on their orbital flight next time. Survey data and whoops. Your assistance in gathering these atmospheric readings has been indispensable. Thank you. And we get 58.3 million Kerbal bucks. Well, 58,000, but anyway, from this. So that's great for our own missions. Because really, you know, just it's basically we do contracts so that we can do our own missions, but where they overlap, all the better, like exploring the moon or Duna and so on. Communications offline. Now remember your lessons. Pitch up during your descent. There we go. We just must not point prograde so that we bleed off enough space. Speed, not space. Is there anything here we need to see? We did that. The moon thing should be interesting. That'll probably be a mission on its own. I can see what Madeline was speaking about in terms of this kind of campaign being good for streaming as well, because you focus on one mission per stream basically then, and it's something different each time, but I like to do this for a series. And we're approaching our cutoff point, 1 kilometer. We just have to keep an eye on the speed. It seems to be just fine. And we can time warp here. More. Right, up we go, up, 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 up. Bleed off all the rest of the speed and deploy the parachute. There we go. Now I know, comrades, especially now in today's episode, if your name was on one of these missions, like I said, it's not perhaps the most prestigious missions or the longest ones, but I will come back around the list again. So don't worry about that. Any new comments will be added to the end of the list, or commenters, comrades, and then I'll come back around the list. So no worries, you might get a very spectacular mission later on. And bang, they do get to see a bit under the water as well, but that's just an extra bonus. Right, recover this vessel, and we just have a look at our contracts as we always do before we move on. But I think that might be it for today. Just this one series of missions. That's also fine. Money back, and no new ribbons. That's fine. Tourists don't get ribbons, of course. And this, didn't I take this already? No, I didn't, obviously. So there's two now, but not the stationary one of Minmus. We don't even have the impactor there yet, or the flyby. That we'll do next time. So satellite, we'll take this one, and then I just want to see stationary orbit. That's a difficult. That's why it's 3 stars. It's not just an orbit. It's a stationary orbit. About probably, is there a specific place? No, it's just a generally stationary orbit. Sometimes they ask you to do it above a certain point, which is even more difficult. Maybe I'll take this. We'll save it. You know, oh, no, I can't. How much to upgrade? $282 million. Should we? Yes, why not? Right, so our first building has reached its 3rd tier, just because we can save this stuff. There, now it's at least in the bank, so to speak. There's another temperature for the moon. I'll throw this one on since we're going to do that anyway. So we'll have 4 contracts that we complete in one mission. That's going to be our most profitable mission ever. Temperature, 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 and temperature. This is all above. All above. That one's going to be the tough one. And this one. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. But anyway. Right, we'll do this stuff next time. But I think we'll just do the flyby of Minmus next time. And the impactor of Minmus. And then probably the episode after that we'll do our first orbit around the moon. And then we'll take it from there. So anyway, see you next time, comrades. I hope you enjoyed. Still, at least we achieved our goals and we moved forward in our quest. Just want to see, is there anyone? No, nobody jumps out at me. Alright. Right, see you next time. Have a fantastic day, comrades. As always, I appreciate your comments and your feedback. And I'm looking forward to the next episode. See you then.